Hi, I'm Dina from Rival IQ. In this series of videos, I'm going to walk you through everything that you need to get started and to be successful using Rival IQ. We're going to start with this video showing you how to manage your landscape. So if you look at the screen, you can see that I have started in the cross-channel overview, which is typically where you start when you open the Rival IQ app. If you navigate to the top left under landscape, there's companies, and this is your landscape, which is simply a collection of companies that you monitor within Rival IQ. When I use the word company, I'm actually referring to this row of data. And this row of data simply represents an entity that has a social handle on either one or all 5 of the social platforms we monitor. So you can see here, Huda Beauty is a company that I'm monitoring, and I have the social handle for their Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. That is what I am describing as a company. But a company can also be a politician or an influencer who only has an Instagram handle. It can also be a regional brand. If you're Coca-Cola, maybe Coca-Cola US is one of your rows, but then another row may be Coca-Cola Argentina. Those each would be considered a different company within Rival IQ if there are different handles for the exact same platform. So let's go over how to add and remove some of these companies. We're going to start by looking at Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm just going to remove that from the landscape by clicking that trash can and then saying confirm removal. I can easily add it back. The easiest way to add a company to Rival IQ is to use the website address of that company. So I just did that, and if you noticed before it finished, there was a quick view that showed Rival IQ was looking for the handles on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. If you have a website, Rival IQ does the hard work for you, and we find those appropriate social handles as best we can. We start by looking at the website and we see if they have them listed. If they don't have a social handle listed there, we go through a variety of ways to try to find it. We use Google, we use those native platforms, and we even use past data entered by our customers. So now that I have Anastasia Beverly Hills added, and I can see that Rival IQ found the social handles for each one of those 5 platforms, I want to verify it's correct. So I told you we do our best using what is available to us, but it may not be accurate. So whenever you add a brand new row or a brand new company to Rival IQ, hover over that check mark and then check to make sure that that handle is what you expect it to be. If you click on the handle name, notice I was directed directly to Facebook, and I can see that is the appropriate Facebook page. I would go through and do that for each platform to verify it is the appropriate handle. So I'm not going to continue going through those, but I wanted to show you how that worked. So that's great if you have a web address for a company, but not all social media presences have an associated website. So as an example, I'm going to do a Montana beauty bar on Instagram, just because I do happen to be in a beauty landscape. So here is Here by Montana. So if this is a public Instagram handle, I will be able to add it to Rival IQ. So notice how we looked for it and we were able to add it, and now we're backfilling the data. So let's go look at what that looks like in your landscape. So just because this is a very large landscape, I am going to do a quick find to get to exactly where it is. So this is the Instagram handle that I added. Notice how there is not a presence for any of the other social platforms. So unlike when you add a website, if you add a specific handle, we do not look for the associated handles on other platforms. If you know that Here by Montana has a Facebook page, for example, simply click add it now, and then you can paste that Facebook URL directly here. The other thing you might notice is the name of this is kind of ugly. It is Here by Montana. It's not Instagram. So click on that edit button, and then you can simply put Here by Montana and save those changes. Now this will appear as Here by Montana throughout your reports rather than that Instagram.com/etc. Again, I'm going to remove that because I don't actually want it added to my beauty landscape. So now you know how to add a company, you know what a company is. Let's talk about how to manage your landscape. If you have a very large landscape like this, that is great for getting a general idea, mostly an industry average of how all of these beauty brands are performing. But if you are Huda Beauty, you may sometimes want to compare yourself to more direct competitors versus in here I have everything from hair care to skincare. So I'm going to create a filtered set so that I can bounce back and forth between this broader industry view and a direct competitor set. If you look at the top, we have a filter for all companies. You can go to Manage Company Sets and you can create a filter. I will just call it Direct Competitors. And now I can add the competitors I wish to view regularly. I'm just going to click a couple at random for demonstration purposes. Notice I did not select my focus company. However, when I select this filter, Direct Competitors, Huda Beauty is still visible. And that's because we always show your focus company within all of our reporting pages. Something to be aware of. This works really well if you are a company like Huda Beauty and you only have one Facebook handle. But if you are Coca-Cola and you have a handle for the US and for every other country, that may not be appropriate. So let me finish with this and then I will show you how to handle those more complicated landscapes. So one trick is to change your focus company. I can simply switch it to Anastasia Beverly Hills, and notice now Huda Beauty has been removed because I am filtered for just those direct competitors. And then I can change it back to Huda Beauty as needed. Couple more things before I move on to different ways to handle that situation. I want to talk a little bit about the history that we have for each of those handles. So if you scroll over those check marks, you'll notice that beyond just the link to the Facebook page, we also provide dates on the earliest available data and the last data updated date. So for the history for each social handle, there's two types of history. There's post history and there's audience history. Audience is like your followers. For post history, the platforms all allow us to go back up to 2 years or possibly a limited number of posts if you are a heavy poster to pull the post into Rival IQ and analyze the metrics for those specific posts. But none of the platforms will allow me to go back a year ago and find out exactly how many followers you had at that time. Fortunately, Rival IQ has been at this for a while, and for many major social handles, we have already recorded the audience history for many years. So if you look at this particular handle, you can see, for post data, we actually have 9 years of history, and for audience data, we have 8 years. Now, this is going to vary per platform, per company. So if I scroll over to TikTok wasn't even around 9 years ago. We have been able to search for posts up through February 2019, but that doesn't mean Anastasia Beverly Hills started posting at that time. But for audience data, we have that for 2 years. And that means we know exactly how many followers Anastasia Beverly Hills had on February 4th, 2021. And we've recorded it once a day, every day since that date. So that is the core of the data history. That really sums up how to create and manage a landscape if you are simply working with a core company that only has one handle per platform. If you are like the Coca-Cola example, let me show you a couple tips on how to manage your landscape. So you have an unlimited number of landscapes in your account. You are only limited by the number of companies you have based on your particular plan. So I am going to look at this Coca-Cola example because I keep talking about it. And you can see here in this landscape, every row represents a different country. So I have the US, Australia, Canada, etc. And I've already set up some company set filters to show different regions. I have the Americas, South America, etc. So since Coca-Cola US is my focus company, if I do South America, South and Central America, I'm still getting that US company, and that's not what I want. I want to be able to easily flip between South and Central America and North America so I can compare how those specific set of handles are performing. In this particular situation, what I would do is duplicate the landscape, and in the new landscape, the copy of this landscape, rename it to be South America. So let me show you how to do that. If you go to Landscape Settings, here we have a button, Duplicate the Landscape. This takes a few seconds to actually run. Now that it has been duplicated, I'm going to rename this landscape. And instead of regional pages, I'm going to call it, oh, it turns out I already have a South America, so I'll do South AM. Now, when I come back to these companies, I want to change my focus company to be something in South or Central America. Now, when I select that company filter, you can see it is only South and Central American companies. So I would perform that same type of action for each region that I wanted to monitor separately and change the focus company to be included within that filtered set. If you have any questions about this or anything else, please feel free to reach out to us, click that support button and chat with us, and we will get back to you as quickly as possible. Otherwise, I really hope you are able to watch the other videos in this series. Thank you.